like the below. That is dependency management. Okay, under dependency management. Okay, under dependency management. Yeah. So under dependency management, we have dependency section. Under dependency section, we have dependency. Okay. And under dependency, we have this one. Okay. And this is a comment actually. Okay. This is a comment. In an XML, if you need to add a comment, we'll add like this, right? So what is happening? So we'll have under dependency management. Under dependency management, we will have under dependencies, and under dependencies, we declare dependency. Basically, what is the difference between the dependency that we specify here? Okay, that we specify here, and we also specify dependency outside also, right? That is how we specify like this. Under dependencies, we specify like this. So what is the difference? I'll tell you. See, basically, if you see here, the type is POM, which is called project object model. See, basically, let us think like this. I have Java files. Let us think like this. I have multiple Java files. Okay, let us think like this. Let us think. I have a group called organization. Group is group, and I am developing. Okay, let us think like this. I have one group. I told you, right? What is group ID? What is artifact ID? Right? So I have a group where I'm developing. My group name is customer application, customer app. This is my group. Okay, this is my group actually. So under this group, I have two artifacts or two projects. Two artifacts or two projects. So one artifact is retail, or we can say like this, retail customer app, and another artifact is or let me give you a simple example. Stuff like this, I'll give a meaningful. I mean, just very which will be understandable. I have a group. I'm developing a group for an app for university. Okay, I call this as a digital university. Okay, digital university. So under this, I have two projects actually. One is artifact ID for technical app or technical students app, and another artifact I'll tell is another artifact ID I'll tell is non-technical students app. So artifact ID. So now under artifact ID, I can have so based on versions, we can have multiple versions. So version 1, version 1. Next, version 2. Version 2. So when these versions will come? These versions will come when I change some new features. When I keep on adding some new features, I get multiple versions. Similarly here also I'll have version 1. Currently, let us think only version 1 here. Okay. Now this is a Maven project structure, right? What is there in Maven? If you see in Maven, we have seen the building blocks: group ID, artifact ID, and version. Right? This is the Maven building block. So your group ID is this one. You have artifact ID. Now here under this group, there are 2 Maven projects. Okay. In fact, if you go one level more, you can consider this as one project, this as one project, this as one. So we have total 3 Maven projects. So from this diagram, we can say there are 3 Maven projects under one group. Okay. So in that 2 Maven projects belong to same artifact, but with different versions. What's that artifact? Technical students. In the 2 Maven projects belong to the same artifact, but with different versions. But total there will be 3. So basically, what is an artifact? Now let us focus on our artifact ID version 1. So now I will have a Maven project. So for this, what will be the Maven project? Like this, group ID is Digital University. Okay. And then group ID is Digital University. Artifact ID is Technical Student tab. Version is version 1. Okay. And so what is this one? Group ID is Digital University. Digital University. Artifact ID is Technical Student tab. Version is V2. Okay. What is this Maven project ID? Group ID is Technical. Group ID is Digital University. Next, artifact ID is non-technical app. Non-technical app. Version is V1. Now you see. So basically now this is one project. So this contains, let us assume this contains, say, around 20 Java files. Okay. Now this also contains, say, though it's version 1, version 2, there might be some common Java files. There might be some new Java files also. So let us take around, say, 25 Java files. And this contains around say, some 30 Java files. Let us think. Now you can think like this is one project. This is one project, this is another project, this is another project. Now all these 20 Java files, when I compile, we can compile, Maven compiles and packages all these, after compiling we'll get class files, right? All the class files to one jar. right? To one jar. Now, similar here also. So Maven compiles and packages all the class files to one jar. Similarly here also like, so Maven compiles all the class files, compiles and packages all the class files to one jar. Okay. So then now what we got from all this, we got one jar. We got one jar. One jar. So here also we got one jar. We got here also one jar. Here also we got one jar. Okay. Now you see, I want to make all these three. Yeah, version 1, version 2 also I'm combining. Okay. Because version 2 is having some features, version 1 is building some features, I will combine. Now I want to combine all these three as one product. And I want to sell this product. Now I want to combine all these three in one product and sell this product. So for that, what we'll do is, now I'll combine all these jars. Now I combine all these jars into one dependency, Maven dependency. Okay. So basically what we are doing here, so I'm combining all these jars into one Maven dependency. Okay. And when I combine all these into one Maven dependency, I'll give group ID as a digital university. Next, artifact ID, I give like some university app. Okay. Okay, then I'll give some version as V1. So I combine all these in one Maven dependency, and what I do, so when I combine all these in one Maven dependency, now this dependency I'll sell as a product, so that some other applications will be using that. Now, when other applications, how they use, suppose a new project wants to use this. So in the new project, what we give in new project, some third-party project, someone has purchased my product, they are using their new project. In new project form.xml, we say like this: dependency colon group ID as a digital university, group ID, and I say artifact ID as university app, and I say version as V1. Something like this. So then I'll close the dependency. Now, you know, when Maven downloads this dependency from somewhere, from Maven Central, see what I'll install this in Maven Central repository, and then see, then other projects will be using that. So they will actually, so once they use, then they get these three jars into their project. For example, if you see here, I included this dependency, JUnit Jupyter. Okay. Now you can see for this dependency, how many jars I got. JUnit Jupyter is one jar. JUnit platform is one. See how many jars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 jars. Okay, 8 jars. 8 jars are part of this single dependency. Okay. Okay, so 8 jars. So 8 jars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when I include this single dependency, I get 8 jars. Similarly, if I include this dependency, my own dependency, in another project, I get 3 jars. So now what you understood, you can think like this. Now logically, I can think like this. So this is, so these are your multiple Java files. This is one project, this is another project. Okay. So these are your Java files. Belongs to one project. Okay, and they all belong to the same group ID, but different projects. So this is another project. Java files belong to another project. This is one project. Okay, this is another Java files, another project. Okay. Now all these projects, okay, first I'll make this as jar. All the Java files will make as a jar. Now this is also jar. This is also jar. Okay, this is also jar. Now all the jars we can combine into one Maven dependency. Into one Maven dependency. This is one Maven dependency. Okay. Now assume that okay, under the same group, this all belongs to same group. Okay. This all belongs to the same group. We can think like this. I think I'll draw one second. Sorry, I'll draw one second. So that everyone should see, I have to add one more layer. What I'll do is I have one group. One group. So under this group, there are say 5 projects. Say these 3 projects are performing similar functionality. So now this is one project or artifact. This is one project. Assume that this is having only one version. This is one version. So this is one project version. So under this version, now all the Java files. So I have multiple Java files here. So these are all Java files. You can think like this. This is one version. Okay. Artifact plus version combines Java files. So these are your Java files. These are your Java files. Or I can put here actually instead of here. I'll put version here. Version V1. And here I'll have Java files. Okay, this is one version. So these are your Java files. Okay. Now this is one project. Okay. Now similarly, let me create here. This is another version. I mean, for the another project, version V1, and here you have Java files. These are Java files. And you have now artifact ID. Artifact ID. You have this one. This is another project. So this is another project. Okay. This is say this is project 1 or artifact ID 1. Artifact ID 1. This is artifact ID 2. Similarly, this is artifact ID. This is again another project, artifact ID. This is artifact ID 3. So this is also now version. Let us take version V1. Java files. So here also we have. Okay. Now this all, when you compile this will form one jar1. jar1. And this when you compile, this will be jar2. And when you combine this will be jar3. Okay. jar3. Now these three jars will form one Maven dependency. Dependency 1, let us think. Now similarly here also let us think like this. Now here you have version V1. Java files. So this is your Java files. And here you will have jar4. And this will combine. This you can say artifact ID project. This is one artifact ID. Let us think the name is artifact ID 4. Similarly here also artifact ID 5. Artifact ID 5. So here also version 1. Version V1 Java files. And here I'm combining this to jar file. I'm combining this to jar file. Now let us think jar4 or jar5 are combined to one Maven dependency. So Maven dependency 2. Right? Maven dependency 2. Now Maven dependency 1 and Maven dependency 2 can be combined into Maven dependency POM. Which is called project object model. So that is what I'm coming here. So when I say Maven dependency POM, I'll tell you project object model. Okay, project object model. That means this is combination of multiple Maven dependencies. And each Maven dependency is combination of multiple jars. And each jar is combination of multiple Java class files. Okay. So where you will see this kind of thing is, let us think like this. I'll open this. See, if you see here in Spring Boot, okay, we have this kind of we have this kind of thing. See here. I'm taking an example. Okay. If you see here, the type is form. The type is form. See, generally for other dependencies, if you see, we did not put type here. See, did we put anywhere type here? Did we put anywhere type here? We have scope, but we haven't put type like this. See, when we don't put type, it is actually, we can think like the type is a jar. So when I say jar, so that means when I open this dependency, so this is a combination of multiple jar files. Okay. That means if I don't put here type, means by default it is jar. The type is jar, and this dependency is a combination of jars. Now when I put type is form, that means this, when I say like this, so this is nothing but this is combination of multiple dependencies. Maven dependencies. So that means let us think like this. Now you can assume that this type form, let us assume this is your Spring Boot dependencies. Spring Boot dependencies. Spring Boot dependencies. Okay. Okay, so this is Spring Boot dependency because the type is form. Now the Spring Boot dependencies contains multiple dependencies. You can think like this is your Spring Boot web. Spring Boot web. Okay, like that there are so many. Here I'm just putting in a diagram 2 dependencies. And this is your Spring Boot okay, JDBC or Spring Boot JDBC, something like that. I'm just putting. Okay. Now the Spring Boot web contains multiple jar files. So this can be your Spring Boot, okay, HTTP. Okay, this can be your Spring Boot web, Spring Boot. If you Spring Boot web will contain so many Spring Boot Jackson, okay, or which is used for JSON libraries. This will be your Spring Boot Tomcat. Okay, like that. Something like this. Similarly, Spring Boot JDBC also can contain multiple jars. So that means this project object model contains multiple dependencies, and each dependency is a combination of multiple jars. Same. See, these 3 jars are related to web related functionalities. So these jars are related to JDBC related functionalities. Okay. And each jar is a combination of multiple Java classes. So each jar is a combination of multiple Java classes. Okay. So now why we need this? Why we need this form? Okay, I'll tell you. Now, when I specify like this, when I specify like this in my form.xml, okay, let me create a Maven project first. File, new, Maven project. I'll just show you one example. Okay, quick start. I'll say like Maven. Let me put like Spring Boot only. Okay, why to do Spring Boot demo or something like this. Okay. If I put like this, now in my pom.xml, what I do is, okay, I'll add, okay, now this, okay, this dependency we don't need because we're using Marketo or Market on JUnit 5. This is 3 version. You can remove this, okay, not required because we are not writing any test case. So what I'll do is, I will add one section here. I will add one section. Dependency management. Under dependency management, I have dependencies. Scope is import. Scope is import. That means I'm importing this POM, this complete POM. So when I'm importing this complete POM means, when I'm importing this complete POM means I'm importing all these dependencies. So this POM is a combination of multiple dependencies now. But now this is only definition, but this will not download. This will not download any of the dependencies. So for that, what we have to do is in my dependency section, I'll tell like this: dependency. Now group ID. I'll say org.springframework.boot. Okay. Then artifact ID. I'll say Spring Boot web artifact ID. And then I'll close the dependency. That's all. Okay. That's all. Okay. Spring Boot. Let me take Spring Boot web builder. Just one. Yeah, Spring Boot starter web. Sorry. Spring Boot starter web. Okay. This is one thing. Similarly, I'll also add org.springframework.boot Spring Boot starter web. Okay. So this is one dependency. Okay. Then what I'll do, I'll add one more dependency. Spring Boot starter, something like JDBC. Okay. Spring Boot starter JDBC. Now you see source format. So if you see clearly here, what I'm doing, I have done like this. This is my pom.xml. This is pom.xml. So this is my pom.xml. In pom.xml, what I'm doing now in my dependency management section, I'm importing this pom. What I'm doing in my dependency management section, I am importing or defining the POM. Which POM? Spring Boot dependencies POM. Defining the Spring Boot dependencies POM. So that means what is POM? POM means this is a combination of multiple dependencies. So one is web-related dependencies, web-related dependencies, web-related dependency. Okay. Then in this example, so JDBC related dependency. Like that, we have so many. Now what I'm doing, you know, now this I'm defining now. Now you have to actually, now from this POM, what dependency you need to download in your project. I need I need web and JDBC. So these two I define in the dependency section. So by specifying these, two dependencies, so project downloads web and JDBC related from, first it will check in Maven local repository, local repo. If not available, it will download from Maven Central, right? This we know that. But you might ask now one question. What is the use of this? Anyhow, we are defining here like this. What is the use of this actually? If you see clearly here, here we are not defining the version in any of these dependencies. We are not defining version. Generally, if you see here, in the other Maven projects, you see, we define a version also here. You see, we define a version. But here in these dependencies, we are not specifying version. So from where the version will be coming? Already I have version here in the POM. In the POM, I have the version, say 2.2.2. Now, this dependency also will have 2.2.2 version. So this dependency also will have 2.2.2 version. So the same version will be used across all these. So I don't need to mention versions separate. So that is the main significance you are seeing. So whatever this form is using the version, it will be applicable. The version will be applicable to all these dependencies. So here what we are doing here, just we are defining the importing this form so that the version will be automatically used in these dependencies. So that now whenever your Maven whenever your Maven builds, first it will search this dependency in your local repository with this version. If not, it will go to Maven Central repository and it will download. So that means say these dependencies, there are say around 20 dependencies like web, JDBC, JMS, like that. We need to use all that in our project. So all that I define here dependency without using version. So they will use the same single version. All these dependencies will refer to this version, so that you don't need to define the versions for each of these things. So that is the main significance of, and this is what we are doing scope as import. If you see, import is used in the dependencies management section. So what this import is doing, it is importing this POM to your project so that whenever you specify dependencies to your project, you can specify without version. That is what, okay? So scope import is used in dependency management section. Okay. So scope is used in dependency management section. Scope import in dependency section where the entire POM is imported to your project. Okay, I mean when I say, or we can say where the entire POM is defined to your project. Instead of import, we can say defined to your project. Okay. See, basically this will not download anything. Remember, this is not going to download anything. Okay. So scope import is used to define where the entire POM is defined or see, in your Java package also it's a import. What do you mean by import? So you are defining the package to be imported to your Java class, right? That's what import. So scope import is used in dependency management where the entire POM is defined to your project. And then when you specify dependencies, okay, in the dependency section, no need to mention version. No need to mention version. No need to mention version. So no need to mention. So when you specify dependency in the dependency section, no need to mention version, and it will use the version. Okay, it will use the version defined. It will use the version defined in the dependency management section. Everyone understood this one? So when you're specifying the dependency management here, that means you are importing the dependencies, okay, into your project. But basically, they will not download. So download will happen only when you specify the required dependencies in your project. And whenever you define this, the version will be taken from this one. And how it will match, you can see this group. This is the group. For this group will be matching. And it will see, so this artifact ID belongs to this POM. This artifact, this dependency belongs to this POM. So it will use this version. Similarly, it will see that this dependency belongs to this POM. So that means you can take like this POM contains these two dependencies. So this POM contains these two dependencies. POM is a combination of multiple dependencies. You can see, you can just think of this. So POM is a combination of multiple dependencies. Okay. So one dependency is combination of multiple jars, and one jar is combination of multiple class files, Java class files. So now when you specify POM here, so now this POM when it tries to import, it will see these two dependencies, and now these two dependencies belong to this version, so it will download. It will download. First, it will check in the local repo. If not available, it will go to Maven repo. Okay. So in other words, I can tell like, so when the POM is getting imported, when the POM specified in dependency management section is getting imported, it will check dependency specified in dependency section, and then it will so when the POMs is specified in dependency that is getting imported, it will check dependencies specified in section that belongs to the same POM. So it will tell to dependencies to use the same version. I mean, I'm just telling you a simple way. See, that means whenever this POM is getting imported to your project, it will see whether there are any dependencies present here belong to this POM. Yes, there are two dependencies belong to this POM. So then it will tell that use this version and download. Use this version, and while downloading, how it will download? Your Maven will check first in the local repo. If not available, it will download from Maven center. That is all for the dependencies it will take, right? That is what. So when this POM is getting imported to your project, so it will see what are the dependencies specified belong to this POM, and it will tell to the dependencies that use this version and get the and download. I mean, download from local repo or central repo. Everyone clear with this dependencies management section? Very, very important. Okay. Everyone clear, right? Everyone clear about this model also? This model, what I told you? Okay. If you know this model, you can understand everything. All the 6 scopes. So compile, provided, runtime, test, system, import. Yeah, I'll send in the classroom. Okay. So everyone clear about all the 6 scopes? Everyone clear? All the Maven dependency scopes? So tomorrow will be your last session for Maven. So day after tomorrow onwards, I'll tell you the new tool, which is SLF4J. So tomorrow I'm going to take the last topic in Maven. SLF4J. Yeah, yesterday's video, how many of are not there in yesterday's video? Yesterday's not, sir. Yesterday's, how many of you did not attend yesterday's session?